Hello, expats or expats wannabes. How you doing? This is Cigar Talk, smoking an Alex Bradley. Very good cigar. Maduro. Maduro's one of my favorite. There's Sumatra, Connecticut. Those are good too. There's so many good cigars. But welcome back. This is Dan and Peni, and basically we're going to talk about the pitfalls that can happen. Some pitfalls. Uh, Thought you might be interested. Uh, I was doing my daily thing in the Philippines, of course. I go get my coffee in the morning. So I went to go get coffee and I got some ATM money out of there. It exchanges the exchange from my bank in the States. And I come home after my coffee and I get home and I'm doing my thing. And the PNP comes to my door. Arona police came to my door. They knock on the door. They said, "We have your wallet." And I'm going, "My wallet? Oh my God." I checked my pants. I don't have it. I go inside. I look for my no pants. I looked in the car. No wallet. What the hell happened to my wallet? Well, they had my wallet from 7-Eleven. I really don't know what I did. I thought I put it in my pocket. I must not have put it in my pocket. And the PNP found it laying, I guess, there, they said. So they called me. I went down to the PNP station. And sure enough, they found my wallet, 11,000 pesos in there, all my, a couple credit cards, and my ID, my SSRV, and my driver's license, and all that other shit. Unbelievable, man. I couldn't believe it, man. I go down there and I went, oh my God. I thanked them very much for finding it. Uh, I went on their site, Facebook site, and I wrote a nice thing to them about thank you very much. Salute to the Arona Police Department for expeditiously finding my wallet and then returning it to me, and it had the contents in it. I told them I was overwhelmed, and I said, I'm a permanent resident here with me and my wife, and I said, I really thank you very much. It's just, I'm in awe that they even found it. But yeah, they returned it to me. I thanked them, and they replied to me with a nice reply, and they said, thank you very much. I told them I enjoy the Philippines. I'm a permanent resident, and I love the people, and I thank you for returning it. Man, unbelievable! That thing could have got in the wrong hands, for real. But I think the majority of the Philippines in here are pretty honest. I mean, I've seen many videos on Rafi Tofu, who's a big senator, and also has a channel that makes. I think he's number three in YouTube in the Philippines. And he's always helping foreigners and Filipinos and Filipinas, uh, always helping them out. So many Uber drivers, somebody get out of the Uber or a taxi and leave their money there or their wallet, and they'll return it. And he brings them on the show, and of course they get a little fee. The person that lost their money gives them something for doing that. They thank them very much. That's what they ought to do, but they do it as a nice gesture too. And so, it does happen here. But thank heavens, man, that I got my wallet back because I think about all the things that would happen. I'd have to go get my SSRV over, my driver's license, I'd have to renew from here. So many things. Credit card, uh, credit card from here, BDO. Amazing. But man, somebody was watching. And man, I just got to, I don't know what to say. If you've ever lost your wallet, you know how it feels, right? But that can happen here or in the States. I've had it happen in the States too. I mean, there's times when I lost my wallet and it felt like the whole world was coming down on you. But it was amazing, a pretty neat little thing. So I had to go on their Facebook account. I had to thank them very much. And they took a picture with me with holding the wallet and, and everything. So then maybe they'll post that on their site or something. But I thought that was a little note. I've always heard that happen, but I never thought it happened to me. But it happened. So that just goes to show you if you're a tourist or a permanent resident or if you come here to the Philippines, you always have to be aware where you're putting your wallet your money. Sometimes they carry a bag. You carry a bag around you and you put it in there. I wasn't carrying a bag at the time. Uh, I should have probably, because I thought I put it in my pocket and I didn't, and they found it. Wow. Think about that. So life is good today, but I learned a big lesson. I may have to continue to carry my bag now. I should have probably all the time, but I didn't. I put it in my pocket. And even if you put it in the pocket, I guess it doesn't work sometimes. But that's imperfection. It happened, but man, I avoided a big problem. So just remember that as a tidbit when you come to the Philippines and you want to enjoy yourself. But if you watch some of my other videos on Cigar Talk, I hope you appreciate this one. And like I say, life in the Philippines is really, it's great. It's great. Just remember some of the laws when you come here. Uh, the house we built, it took 6 months. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but it was done in December of 22, 2022, and two-story, complete. No, there was no stopping because we made sure that they had the amount of cash they needed to continue the job. And this is my experience. We never give them half the money up front. We give them enough to get started. Then, as they need it, they'll ask, do we give it to them so they can keep going? Because what can happen in the Philippines when you go to build a house is that if you don't keep them up being able to get their stuff to continue on what they're doing, then what will happen is that they'll stop and they may start another job, maybe on another job. They could have two jobs at the same time, but if you don't pay them enough to be able to get what they need to continue, then there may be a lull in it. You'll be waiting. And then you got holidays, of course, they take off for the holidays and Sundays. Sometimes they don't work, sometimes they do. All depends on the general contractor that you're getting. And if you got a lot of money and you want to get an engineer, that's fine too. But there are some good contractors, and the one we had was very good at the time. He did a great job. Uh, One of the only things I didn't do when they were building the house is when they put in the plugs, it only has a two prong, not a three. So it's a 110 instead of a 220. But we were able to adjust to that because the things that you get here in the Philippines, you can use in the plug. I use all my computers and everything. You just get a a little adapter that goes in, and it takes care of the third prong. If you got a three pronger with that round thing on the bottom. But other than that, they did a good job, and we're very happy about it. We love it, and so other than that, things are going good. I mean, I did my daily routine today. I got up and you know, but one of the things too I want to talk to you about is all these vloggers. If you watch a lot of these vloggers, you've heard about some of them doing things in the Philippines they shouldn't do. And one of them's pro travel, pro traveler, and Vitality. They both got deported, put in jail first, and then they were deported because they did things in the Philippines you shouldn't do. They were a little extreme in their vlogging, but they did things that are undesirable. There's Filipino laws in regards to conduct and content, and the Philippines have been fighting YouTube for a long time over their rights of being able to control in the Philippines the YouTube. But they had a hearing in Congress. I watched the hearing. The in-between people from the states and the Philippines that work for the Philippines here, they were like the arbitrators, and but they wouldn't let them have full control, and that's what they wanted. So they had to adopt laws to adjust for the lack of being able to control it. And a lot of those laws are spelled out clearly in the YouTube government in regards to online uh, business. If you have a business here as a YouTuber, you have to get a license and a permit because it's a business and you have to pay taxes. Not only got to pay taxes in the Philippines, you got to pay taxes in the United States. So if you get a business and you come here, you're going to have to follow those exceptions in regards to doing that. So if you think you're going to be a real bomb YouTuber here, and you're going to do fantastic, Well, that's what they all hope they will, And some of them are just living off the YouTube money. They come here with little money. They're not retired yet because they're not of age, and so they're trying to make a living. And I just can't see myself as a vlogger in the Philippines holding my arm out, with that camera all the time. I just can't see it. And when I before I came here, I told Hermie I'm not gonna be vlogging like that. I'll do vlogs on YouTube to give explanations and maybe some things that are happening in the Philippines. But other than that, yeah, you're gonna have to get a business. It's a business if you come here, even as a tourist. You can video, but if you look on, can a foreigner on a tourist visa video be a vlogger in the Philippines, and it will take you to a site that'll tell you yes, but you must conform to YouTube's program, foreigner program. Okay, so remember, you're a tourist here, and you don't want anything to happen when you're videotaping things, because here in the Philippines, you got to block out little kids. So if you're into all that technical stuff, you got to block out the little kids. You can't show someone up front. If you're getting close to them, you can't videotape them up close. If you're just panning and you're just walking, that's fine. But if you're actually moving in and zooming in, you have to have their permission to show their face on there. So it's real technical. There's a lot of questions you may have in regards to that, but there's a lot of YouTube information out there. But be careful what you hear. The best way to do it is look at the contents and the context to what the government of Philippines says you have to do to video. Okay, you're a tourist, you can take pictures, but if it's with kids, if it's zooming in on girls' legs and stuff, and you're making comments on it, I wouldn't even roll the dice doing that stuff. But you'll see a lot of stuff on YouTube that goes on. But they made an announcement just recently because they just deported two of these vloggers, and one of them got deported. They were both Russians, of course. One was from the United States with a green card, but they don't want him back. And Russia didn't want him back, so he has to go to Estonia. And but they had to sit in jail for a long time. So think about the consequences when you're videotaping and not being like some of these guys here that have been here for a while that just want to be voyeurs and voyeurs called and videotape girls all the time and do things that bring shame to the Philippine people. It's one thing, like I say, to take content in a documentary, if you're a business, like a geographic thing or a news piece where they show the slums or the bad areas of the Philippines, because they're telling you about the Philippines. But for you as a vlogger, uh, be careful because the intent has a lot to do with it, but it's hard to tell intent sometimes. But you don't want to shame the Philippines here. Like I said, there's a law about shaming Philippines in the Philippines. You can't yell at them, you can't scream, you have to be calm and regress your stuff in a calm way. All things that happen in a barangay, they call like your city. Your city has a police department. Okay, here we have barangays. So in this barangay, it's called, or city, little city. Okay, within a city, Tarlac is Tarlac City, Horona is Horona. Okay, but Horona, then there's other little barangays, they're little cities. Okay, they have their own barangay. What they do is they mediate any problems in the barangay in that area, your neighbors or within that barangay of theirs that could hold up to so many people, doesn't matter. Uh, you go to them to address your grievances. And if you have agreements, you go to them, they try to solve it. If they can't solve it, then they say, well, this has to go to court. And then you'll end up in court. Remember, things in the Philippines takes slow. It's slow. So don't expect like the states that you're going to get action like this right away. So, but the main thing is to avoid getting into things with your neighbors. Okay, if something's really bothering you where you live, if you have a house and you're going to be here permanently, and you're not here temporarily as a tourist, so there's a little noise, it doesn't bother you. But if you're here permanently, you got to pick and choose the places that you live, uh, where maybe there's less animals or there's less noise. And so make your choices. The closer you live to like Angeles City or in a touristy area, you're going to have that. You're going to have a lot of noise from the trikes, from the motorcycles. So we don't live on the street side. We live in the farmland. Okay, there's a street that goes from the street out into the farmland. There's a street. It's called an ease. They call it an ease, and they make it a street. And so there's hardly any traffic, and it's quiet. And that's the way we like it. But how you like it would be up to you. But it is beautiful out here in the farmland, you know. And like I mentioned before in the other YouTube, there's a beautiful scenery. Man, when the clouds are moved out of the way, you can see the mountains in the back surrounding all over, and you can see the farmland for as far as it goes. I mean, it's beautiful. But some of you may not like the farmland. You want to be somebody else, somewhere else, a little more dense or not dense. But like I say, be careful when you come here as a YouTuber and know the laws. You can listen to a lot of vloggers, but be careful, like I say, because you're going to have hit and miss. They're not going to know the law. They're going to think you think they know the law. The law is what you read online, okay? Not what expats tell you. I did lots of research before I came here about the laws in the Philippines, and even though you might not see the Philippines obeying the law, you must obey the law. You know, here in the Philippines, your light turns green. I wouldn't go right away. I'd stop and make sure there's nobody coming, because what happens is when it turns green, people still cross in front of you on a red, trying to get by. So you have to be careful. You know, it's not like the States where, oh, you got to stay there or you're going to get a ticket or you cause an accident. No. So when I go up to a light and I'm going to make my left turn, I make sure there's no trikes or cars coming in front of me, because if there's nobody moving in the intersection, they're going to go, red light or not. And you just have to appreciate that's just the culture here. It's just the culture. So you got to, I enjoy driving though. I drive like them, so I don't have to worry about it. But I don't go on a red. I avoid that mistake. I'm not a Filipino. So if the Filipinos get away with it, I'm not going to get away with it. I'm going to get in trouble because I'm a foreigner. And I don't know, you may hear things about if you get a ticket, put a 50 underneath the thing and give it to them so you don't get a ticket. I don't do that. Now, I know some expats that have done that, you know, if they get a little traffic violation or something. I don't do that. My luck is they'll say I was bribing them. I don't want to take that chance. So don't listen to some of these expats that tell you, oh, just put a little 50 under your license when you give it to them to, you know, to get. No, no, not me. But you make your own choice what you'd like to do. You know, I didn't use a fixer. They call them fixers here that are outside the LTO, which is the DMV here. You know, they call it the LTO here, like they do the DMV over there. Outside, they have fixers that used to work inside that know people inside, and they can fix you up and get you a license or fix your passport. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to take the chance that I'm going to be the one that to roll the dice on and I'm going to get caught. I'll do it and be patient and do it the right way, which is simple. So there's a lot of things you need to know when you come here, though. So keep your head on a swivel and enjoy your stay. Uh, Pre-plan your places you want to go before you come. The touristy places like Barangay, I mean like Boracay, like Saragao, like Iloilo, I think of Iloilo. Yeah, those are beach touristy places. You'll see a lot of tourists there and expats. It's Makati, same thing. Dumaguete, very dense in expats that are living there. And like I said before, they call them Dramagetti, you know. The Filipinos call them Dramagetti because there's been a few fights with expats there. So there's gonna be expats that just act like they did in the States, and they're gonna get themselves in trouble, you know. I remember seeing one expat that put out a video that he had a disagreement with a person in one of those warehouses. He was buying some material, and he was trying to explain to the guy he's wrong. You know, that's not how much it cost or whatever the problem was. He ended up taking the guy outside. They walked out, just yelling in the street at him, screaming at him in the street in front of all the other Filipinos. Well, the guy went to the barangay. He didn't appreciate it. Even he tried to apologize to the Filipino. The Filipino wouldn't do it. He says, "I'm suing you." So the Braun guy had to let it go because he said, "I'm not accepting nothing from you, but I'm suing you." Yeah, their pride. They have a lot of pride here in the Philippines, so you want to remember that. We're not special. We're foreigners. We're guests, on a tourist visa. Some of you. I'm not a guest. I'm a permanent resident. So when people know you're a permanent resident, well, they go, "Oh, okay, wow, that's different than just being a tourist. You actually live here. You understand the culture a little more." And you'll find out if you live here, you want to assimilate a little bit more and learn the language. Because even though they can speak some English, they do appreciate the fact that you're trying to learn their language. Even though you may think that their English isn't that great, and sometimes though you'll be talking to them in English, explaining what you want, because you understand they can understand some English, and they'll say, "Oh, my nose bleeds. My nose bleeds." That happened to me when I got here, but that's understandable, you know. Uh, Even my wife's son, I talked to him. There's no one here to speak English to him till I came here, So I'm trying to speak English to him, and he knows a little bit, but they don't understand sometimes how you're saying things. And so he says, "Oh, I got a nosebleed." So I carry tissues in my pocket when he does that, and I hand it to him. "Oh, your nose bleeding?" But ours can bleed too. I mean, I don't understand that language that much, even though I've been here going on 4.5, 5 years. My wife speaks it. She speaks two languages, Ilocano and Tagalog, but I'm learning. Marama Salamat, that means thank you very much. Salamat means thank you. Kastamaka means good morning, how are you? So I know some, but I'm not fluent. But I'd love to be fluent, and my wife's helping me out with that. Because the more you use it, the more you'll understand it, the more you'll be able to talk about it. And they respect that you're learning their language. And if you know their language and you start speak it to them, "Oh, he knows a Tagalog," and that's what they say. And but it's like a courtesy. You want to assimilate. If you're a tourist, you don't have to do that. But if you're living here permanently, well, then you want to try to understand their language a little bit so you can not only understand what they're saying behind your back, but you also can communicate with them and they'll respect you for that. And so if you say you're trying, uh, and you can say a few words, well, then that's good. They appreciate that. But you don't have to if you're a tourist and you're just here to visit and check things out. And they do speak a little English, so they can pretty much understand what you're saying. But other than that, yeah. So understand the laws and enjoy your stay if you come. So watch a lot of these vloggers if you want. You may laugh and find some of it funny, but it's terrible how these expats want to attack each other, you know. And you'll see that the more you watch it, you'll get into that stuff. And it seems like drama makes more views for some reason. It makes more views. But also with this flag and the Philippine flag with it, when you hang it, you have to hang it properly. So you have to hang the Filipino flag to the left of the American flag because the red part of the flag has to be next to the Philippine flag. They have to be even, and your American flag cannot be higher than the Philippine flag. It has to be even, and the red has to be next to the American flag, and the blue is on the other side. If I show you that, the blue is on the other side. Okay, but the red has to be towards the flag. And I did that for my own research. I didn't get that from any Philippine expats online because I did my own research. You'll get a lot of different things that people tell you and stuff. But nobody flies a flag here outside their house in the Philippines like we do in the States. Some want to fly their flags. Can't do that here. The only time you can fly a Philippine flag here is during a holiday or a specific holiday that the Philippines says you can do it, or when the president has an address or does something special. Yeah, believe it or not, people just don't fly the Philippine flag here. I don't think it's illegal to fly the flag, but I don't know if you can fly yours. But if you do fly your flag, double check and do your own research. But the flag cannot be, has to be above the American flag and cannot touch each other. But the Philippines has to be above the American flag and then your flag. Can't have the United States flag and then their flag. You're here in the Philippines, their flag is the foremost, and then yours is the secondary. It's a little tidbit for you if you want to know about that, you know. And the exchange right now, man, is great. 59.47. Wow, that's 59.47 for each dollar. That's not bad. So you'll enjoy the exchange very much, you know. And that's one of the pulls about coming to the Philippines is the exchange. But the real pull is the people and the land and the beaches and just the culture itself, you know. It's just beautiful. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I still love the United States. I know what's going on there. I keep in touch with that stuff, but I don't talk about politics online. That's another thing I said in one of my videos. I don't talk about politics online. But imagine a place you could retire and walk around in thongs, shorts, and a shirt like this. Do you believe that? You're not in a suit and tie. You don't have to dress up everywhere you go. You could wear this. I don't have to dress up to go nowhere except for immigration. Immigration asks that you wear a regular long sleeve or a short sleeve shirt, not like this, but with short sleeves, and pants, no thongs. But then you'll get there and you'll go, oh, look, some Philippines, they got shorts on. That's the Philippines. Show respect. Look online. It tells you exactly what to wear when you're going there. Now, you're going to hear a guy who goes, oh, I went in shorts, but, well, hit and miss. You're going to have some that are not going to allow it and some that are going to allow it. So you take the chance. I always have a shirt and pants. It's only for a little bit of time when you go. Go there and do it the proper way. They respect that. And, it tells them that you know what you're doing. So, always be happy. Be happy, joyous, and free. I mean, I can't believe that I'm here still. I just can't believe it. Because 9 years ago, when I met my Asawa, who's my Philippine wife, I never thought I'd come here till I met her. And that's after watching 5 years of, Philippines and Thailand. And then I got the bug and I met her. So I love it. It's the best thing I ever did. Best thing I ever did. So anyway, I thought I'd put some of that short little things out for you. I'm not going to bore you too long, but if you smoke a cigar, enjoy one. I know it's different, but there are cigar smokers in the Philippines, and I used to belong to a lounge when I was in the States, and I knew a lot of smokers, and it's one thing we had in common with the cigars and then what we experienced and stuff. So I miss that part about it being here, but I still enjoy it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to hear more, then come on back. Like if you want, that's fine with me. I don't monetize my program. I'll say that again. I just put out little videos once in a while to help, you know, give out a few points about the Philippines and how I experienced it. Now, remember, that's how I experienced it. You may watch all these videos and hear something else, but be careful what you hear because a lot of the videos, have a wow action and they're always contradicting somebody else and, attacking another expat. I mean, my life is not coming here to retire to attack other expats and what they say. That's not my life. So I watch it like Jerry Springer 2.0. That's how I watch it. But I enjoy living here. And if nobody loves you today, nobody said they love you today, I love you.